It's the Sports Kings. Sports Kings.
He might fall off the wagon in the next 10 minutes.
And Rob Calloway.
It's about bringing talent. It's not about all the flash and glitz and glam.
Not your average sports talk show. The Sports Kings.
This is NFL legend, work done.
This your boy D. Howard, a.k.a. Superman.
I'm Jerome Bettis, the bus.
It's Cam Newton. Holla at your boy already.
This is Hank Aaron, and I'm down with the King.
Tell a friend, Kings is back.
Yep. After a day off, we are back. We are, in fact, back. Sports Kings, Big Mike, Rob Calloway, coming at you via Spreaker.com, the name of the show, Sports Kings Live. Make sure you guys search that after you download the app to your mobile device. Then follow us and then join the conversation via the live interactive chat room. You guys can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr at Sports Kings Live, and you guys can send emails. Guys and girls can send your emails to sportskingslive@gmail.com. Yes. We had some dueling situations yesterday in which we had to kind of punt on the show. No apologies here.
Only the Sports Kings will take off Thursday and be back on the Friday.
Yeah, that's what it is, you know. Ish happens. What can I say? So, yeah, we're back with plenty of stuff to talk about. Like one of my guys, I like to say, you miss a little, you miss a lot. So we got to try to jam all of that into this 2-hour edition of Sports Kings Live. So as we get things rolling, of course, we're going to do at some point during the show, we'll take a day look back into the history of things that happened on this particular day in the sports world. Speaking of, in case you've been living under a rock somewhere, former Oakland Raiders great Ken the Snake Stabler, he succumbed to colon cancer today. Yeah. Also, as Rob just mentioned, Alabama great. He succumbed to, I think that's the past tense of succumb to something, succumbed to colon cancer. Last night, as a matter of fact, and I think he was 69 years old, passed away. So a lot of the sports world and the NFL, college football world is mourning the passing of Ken Stabler. All right, we missed all the Deandre Jordan hoopla yesterday, and I didn't even realize it was going to be hoopla. I didn't even realize all this was going to go on, but we'll give our take on that here coming up in just a second, and we'll get you guys caught up on the signings that we didn't really have confirmation on during the little hiatus or the little period in between the commitments and the actual pen to paper signing. So we'll get you guys involved in that. We have some NFL news as far as some court proceedings or some appeal proceedings. Finally, getting some news on those. The Jason Pierre-Paul situation is still in the news, and I think I want to talk about this Joe Theismann thing. I think I do, because of some of the things he said. And I know because he appeared on Fox News and he had some things to say about the Redskins name change. And one of the comparisons he made caught a little bit of heat. So I wanted to kind of address that and talk about it a little bit.
Is that like old man shut up?
I don't know. I'll let you judge. I'll let you and the people judge if it is. I'm not really sure because. Like I said, I think a part of what he's dealing with is the news medium that he was on. Speaking of news medium, Chris Broussard found his way back into the news, not reporting the news, but actually being the news once again. So we'll definitely we'll talk about him as well. And the NBPA Player Awards were announced today. Not the awards themselves, but the nominees for the awards. And, I think we should discuss that because I looked over the list, and it's the reason, again, that just play ball. Just play. So let's start at the top of things today. Let's start with one of my guys, the guys who one of the guys I enjoy watching play ball. Real quick, though, two other things. Or not two other things, but a couple other things. You've got to get you guys updated on the latest in the what's the dude's last name, Rob? The Jared from Subway situation. Yeah, it's bad for the homie. It's terrible for him and good. It should be. It's bad for him.
He ain't my homie.
Ballers got renewed for the second season after only three episodes, which is a huge middle finger to the NFL.
Reggie from Crenshaw. Up in this game.
And we got some other news on ESPN as well. Some you know what? I'll do it. I'll do it right now. I want to give you guys a round of applause for this one. The listeners, all you guys out there. Because you know what? I usually get on you guys' case, and I tell you guys how much it's your fault that when the NBA Finals is going on, and I'm looking, it's the middle of the day, and all of a sudden Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless pop up on my television, I blame you guys. But I will applaud you guys now for some news that I saw today. The fact that ESPN is losing subscribers, like in droves. And that's because you guys are, I'd like to think, you guys are getting smarter. You know, you guys are realizing that you shouldn't be the puppets of the large machine that is ESPN, and them trying to tell you what to think. Today in the Wall Street Journal, they cited the Nielsen data. The Nielsen, for those of you who aren't in media, they're the people who take or who record the ratings. It's the rating system, I should say. So they said that ESPN has lost 3.2 million subscribers in a little over a year. That story also says that the network's cable subscription fee is about $6.61. If these numbers are accurate, that adds up to $250 million per year in lost revenue.
Well, I'm already telling you, man. Like, I got two neighbors, right? They live next door to each other, and one of them is like the most avid. He was the most avid Sports Kings listener that I know. Like, I would be leaving the neighborhood, and he'd flag me down and be like, "Man, y'all were talking about such." And it was like, he's been listening, because he listened to WAOK, right? He's just one of those avid, African-American radio listeners. And so he's been listening to this show, the original, the Sports King, since its inception, right? So, this dude always tried to give me advice, give me pointers and whatnot. And one of the biggest pointers was, he was like, you got to get rid of that read. But anyway, he already told me, he was like, yeah, man. When he realized the show was out there, he was like, yeah, man, I expect to see y'all and hear y'all on Sirius XM satellite radio anywhere where you can really give your opinion the way that you guys really want to give it. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, well, appreciate that. So then my neighbor on the other side of him, he listened to the radio as well. I mean, they both listened to the show. And he told me, it was just a couple weeks ago, I pulled down and he was like, yeah, man, I don't even watch that ESPN and crap, man. They don't have nobody on there that I really can even relate to. He was like, they took my boys off, Ryan and Doug. And he was like, after that, I just kind of was like, ESPN, they just about them white boys. He was like, that good old boy network. He was like, then CBS Radio. He was like, I thought they were down, and I realized they were just some old white boys. He was like,
that's the other end of the spectrum, like, I guess. I don't know if it's necessarily that. It's just, to me, it's.
But he was like, basically, he was just saying, he was like, that he knew it was bigger, better things for what we do. He was like, yeah, just screw them, man. Screw them.
Well, apparently, neither one of your neighbors own computers. I don't see them in the chat room at all, ever. So there's
older,
that.
Man.
Well,
they're older. They're in that 54 and up.
Well, out of our demo.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't care about them. So Deandre Jordan. For those of you who don't know, a couple weeks ago, he appeared to be headed to Dallas to play for the Mavericks on a 4-year, $80 million deal. At the 11th hour, news started coming down that he was having second thoughts about the move, and upon hearing that, the Clippers brass, the Doc Riverses of the world, the Steve Ballmers, I guess Blake Griffin was involved, also Chris Paul was involved.
Glenn Rivers, the GM. Don't forget about the GM, Glenn Rivers.
Okay, yeah, both of them. And they packed up. They went to DeAndre Jordan's house, convinced him that we still love you, DeAndre. If you want to come back, we're here for you. Don't worry about anything. It's all good. And subsequently, today, or last night when they were able to sign, DeAndre Jordan remained a Clipper. at 4 years, $88 million with a 3-year with an opt out after 3 years.
I love this. They went and held themselves up in DeAndre's home.
As well they should have.
We ain't leaving. We ain't leaving.
But here's the thing. The title to today's episode is when a young black athlete takes control. And the people who are making the biggest fuss about this, like if you're a Mavericks fan, you're exempt from these statements I'm about to make. You're exempt.
Hold on, did you see the video of the Mavericks fan?
I saw the story, but I figured it's gonna be the same thing I always see: somebody going crazy, or somebody burning a jersey, or somebody doing something stupid because they're mad.
It was kind of like it was like the best wrestling promo, non-wrestling promo you ever saw in your life, dude. He didn't go crazy. He sat there. He vented though. But it was like, you know, after Dusty Rhodes died, they posted like the greatest Dusty Rhodes interviews, and you know, you always see that kind of stuff on the internet. That's basically what it was. It was awesome.
I skipped right past it. I guess we just haven't learned the lesson that was learned 5 years ago when LeBron had his decision. We didn't learn the lesson last year after Dwight Howard did the thing. You know, we kind of went back and forth between Cleveland, between L.A. and Houston, ending up in Houston, and then this year, you know, it's called free agency, right? You have no restrictions, you have no contractual ties to anyone, so it's about what you want to do, and apparently, the stories that were told during this time where Deandre Jordan was having his was reconsidering was that he actually never wanted to leave LA. He got convinced to. Now the agent situation has come full circle. I told you guys yesterday about how the same guy who represents Deandre Jordan represents Dwight Howard, but he also represents Chandler Parsons. And part of the Chandler Parsons deal to get him out of Houston last year and get Dwight Howard to Houston was that this year he would kind of he would kind of try to do a make good. Well, maybe not this year, but at some time in the future. And just so happened Deandre Jordan came on the market. Maybe I can make a make good. So the story initially was that he got pressured into choosing Dallas over LA. And here's the thing again. I'm gonna make the same point I made when LeBron did it. I'm gonna make the same point I made when Dwight Howard did it. If it's you, do you go play for this bum-ass Dallas team, or do you go play for a team that is going to contend again next year? Like, you can get hung up on the whole, meltdown against the Rockets. Yeah, that's once-in-a-lifetime stuff. But you're still bringing back your all-star point guard. You're still bringing back your all-star small forward. Now you have your all-defense 7'1" big man in the middle. Now, the bench is going to be kind of slim. I'm hearing, actually, that talks are heating up between the Clippers and not Glenn Rivers and Austin Rivers to come back. And I know we joke about Austin Rivers and the whole thing with him and his dad, but let's not get it twisted. He's a 22-year-old kid that has ability. He has NBA ability. We saw it in that game, not the one he started for Chris Paul, but the game that Chris Paul came back and he came off the bench.
Right.
The kid got like 17, 18 points.
Yeah, he gave him 20. It was 20. Yeah, it was 20 and 10.
He has NBA ability, but we kind of just joke about the fact that he's playing for his dad. But at the same time, he was still a lottery pick for the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yes, but and let's not forget that they still have right now for all purposes, Jamal Crawford to be back,
mm-hmm.
and you had the signing of Paul Pierce, who showed that he's more than serviceable. And this past season with the Wizards.
And there's Lance Stevenson's out there now. I mean, this is a nice.
I forgot they got Lance.
Yeah, it's a cool ball club. So, and then you're getting paid a little bit more. Same time, you're getting paid a little bit more. So if it's you staying in Cleveland or going to Miami? You staying in L.A. or you going to Houston? What are we talking about, man?
Yeah.
All this internet stuff that happens and people feel like they have to address it because apparently
the Lakers were so excited. They just knew DeAndre was the hell up out of the Staples Center. They were like, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. The whole overreaction, and this is another part of that whole ESPN machine where, now, is it time for the NBA to do something? Hell no, because